What's up, y'all? I'm about to show you guys how I made the beat for Rosé Toast by LunchBoxxx. If you ain't heard it yet, I'll leave a link in the description. Go check that out real quick. If you have heard it, then let's get right into it. I'm about to put the headphones on, show you guys what I did. So first things first, I started with this really obscure song. I think it's in Russian or something, I don't know. But I'll let you hear part of it real quick. That's funky. Alright, so I really only used the front section of the song and I chopped up that part. So if you look at it here, it might look a little confusing because there's a lot of pieces, but it's relatively simple thought process just kind of plastered on here. So if I solo just this part, you can see this is the main section of the sample. Those 8 bars right there pretty much just loop throughout the whole thing. Now what I did with that is I put an EQ on it, a couple EQs, but what I really did with that part is I cut all the lows out for a specific purpose, and I'll show you in a second. I also put a little compressor on it just to keep it all tight. So what I did, this 8 bar loop right here that I have, I took the whole thing and I duplicated it and I made them all new samples. And then what I did with those is I pitched them up a whole octave. So if you hear this real quick, it's way more high pitched than the original, which I did because I felt the original sample lacked high end. So if you look at it, I just put another EQ on it and I cut even more of the low and some of the mids, and I boosted part of the highs. And I also put a compressor on that too, but you play them together. It's a very subtle thing, but I mean, it was mainly done for personal creative preference. But here's all that together. And without. Very, very subtle. But back to what I said, how I cut the lows out in the main sample. I did that because I really liked the bass line that was in this original song, and I didn't want to add my own bass line, and I didn't want to try to remake it or anything like that. So what I did, if I mute all this and I put this one up right here, this one I duplicated it all again, but this time I used the EQ and I took all the highs and mids out and made it just the low end. So just that bass that was in the sample. Check it out right here. Might not be able to hear it very well because it's such a low frequency, but I promise you it's there, all right? I promise. I also put a compressor on that one too, just to keep the bass really fat. So now all together, the whole sample with the main sample melody, the high pitch, and the low end. No low end. Low end. You get the gist of it, right? Of course. Okay, so now the next thing I did after that is I went searching through my category of loops and samples and different things like that, and I found this vocal loop from Cymatics. And what I ended up doing with that is I figured out what key the actual sample was in after I had done my pitching down and all that stuff. And then I went searching for a vocal loop that was in that key specifically. And so what I did once I got that was pitch it down a whole octave. So it was really low and kind of mysterious almost, you know? But I'll play just the vocal loop real quick. Very mysterious. spooky almost. Now, add the sample back in. Spooky vibes, dog. That's what I'm saying. After that, the rest was pretty simple. I then added the drums in, but I didn't do anything super special with the drums. I kept it nice and slow paced because I wanted that like slow head bob vibe. You know what I mean? Just that boom, boom. You know what I mean? So let me play the drums without any of the melodies, sample, nothing like that. This is the drums. Simple. I promise you, simple. And you may have noticed that that kick sounded really distorted. That was done on purpose because for this album that I produced for LunchBoxxx, we wanted the drums to just have that grit to it, you know what I mean? And I have better examples with some of the other songs that I produced where the drums are just grimy, twisted, Anywho, that's the drums on here, right? Let me play it with the sample and everything together. Relatively simple, right? After that, all I did was add some like reverse cymbals, some crashes, a couple little things that I like to add in, and like that was it. And then I did add an EQ filter automation, and I'll show you what I mean right here. And I did that for creative purposes as well, just to add a breakup almost, like some variety. And then after that, I just went through and kind of mixed everything and made sure it all sounded good together. So I'll go ahead and play some of the beat for you right here so you can hear it all together.
Beats by Mills, you got slapped.
That was it. After that, sent it off to him. He wrote what he wrote. We recorded it. I mixed it. And then we went and shot the video, which I filmed and edited. And then we just did that a bunch more times until we had an album. That was it. So y'all let me know if you want to see anything else from the album or anything else in general. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.